Alright, I'm gonna walk you through the steps for installing Energia IDE and the drivers that go along with it. This is just to maybe help out with some of the steps, maybe questioning how you should do it, or whatever, if you've just never installed anything before related to this topic. So here in the lab you see we have this link. I've already clicked it. Here's the Energia homepage for the IDE. If you've ever installed or programmed with Arduino, it's basically built off the same architecture. So yeah, we're going to click download, and this will take us to the download area. Make sure you read everything on this page, and you're checking out some of these guides if you need them on how to do boards. It has some, this is showing it's for a Mac, so there could be some other steps that you may need to do for other operating systems. But mainly for this one, I use Windows, so I'm going to click here. I'm going to download this zip file. Let's make this smaller. Okay. Download that. And then because I have done this before, I know that I'm going to need these other driver files. It says right here for installation guide. So I'm going to click Windows, it's my operating system, and we're using the MSP 432 board, the 401R launchpad. So I'm going to need that. So I'm going to go in here. Make sure you read these directions. I am walking you through the steps, but it's just good to know what you're doing in case you do have problems. I have not had to do this step in a while. I think this was mainly for when Windows 8 and 10 were pretty much brand new. But you may have to do this. I haven't had to do it for my two machines. I did have to do it a long time ago, but I think they've made some improvements that have workarounds in Windows now that may not require you to do this. But with that said, here are some simple troubleshooting steps that if you do have some issues, but hopefully we won't. Hopefully you follow these steps and it's working for you on the first try. So yeah, we're gonna need these drivers. I'm going to right click this, save link as, and I'm going to save this zip file to my downloads. It may try to block it. Just click keep. Windows and Chrome sometimes block files that don't really need to be blocked. So then we're going to go into downloads. I'm going to refresh this, and I use 7-zip. I do recommend it over some of the other zip software just because for very large files it goes a little bit quicker, and it also handles files sometimes have really long names, and other zip programs can't handle that. So let's extract this one. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the installation process of the IDE. Energia doesn't install like normal programs, so this is it. It's here. This is basically the software you have. You won't see this in your apps in Windows or app removal. We can double click this and it'll open right up. If you'd like to create a shortcut, you can drag this or right click, create shortcut. Since it doesn't ask you to do that like normal programs, I think I'm gonna drag this down here and I'll put it right there. It looks like it didn't go in there. There we go. So now I have me a shortcut to it, so I can just click this, or you can double click it. But before we do that, before we open Energia, I am going to go ahead and install the drivers. So I have a 64-bit system, so I'm going to right click and I'm actually going to run it as administrator. What this is going to do is keep the installation from asking me any for approval for installing any drivers, because we already know we want to install all of them, so I don't need for it to ask me every time. So I'm going to click next, and I have done this before, so it went a little bit quick, but it should take up to 30 seconds, maybe a minute to install those. And if you don't run as administrator, it may ask you for approval. Make sure you're paying attention and that you click install and you approve Texas Instruments for making changes to your computer. Otherwise it won't work correctly. So we'll click finish, and then we're pretty much done with the install. So now we can go back to Energia and we will open it up, and this will be the splash screen, and next we'll need to make sure that everything is updated and installed within Energia itself. So just make sure you do have an internet connection, and we're going to go to Tools, and then first we're going to go to Manage Libraries. So these will be all the libraries that we have. If you go up to here and you see examples, and then you have built-in examples, these all come from outside libraries for other boards. See, this is for this board, examples for any board, and basically that stuff comes from these libraries that are installed. So we'll go to Manage Libraries, and the first thing I want to do is make sure that everything that we have is updated. So I'm going to click Updatable, and we do have one that has an update. So I'm going to go ahead and update that. And as you see, that updated pretty quick. Go back to all. And then these are not all that's installed. These are just ones that are available. You can just type in a name, but if you look right here, it says Energia RSLK library. This is for our specific robot. I'm going to go ahead and install that. And as you can see, I did already have it installed because I have done this before. So it says library is already installed, but it'll do a quick thing and install. If you hit it again, it's no big deal. It'll just say it's installed already. No big deal. So we'll close out of that. And now we need, the main important thing is to make sure our board is there. And as you see, we have all these boards in here, but not the board we need, not the board we're using. So we're going to go into Board Managers, and the first thing I want to do is make sure the ones that I have are updated. So we'll go to Updatable, and this MS430, we probably won't use this, but I just like to update everything. You never know what drivers are using with other drivers or pin maps and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and update that. Now this is going to take a second, and I would advise just sitting there and letting it finish what it needs to do. Even if you think it's frozen, it's probably not. Just let it sit there. Some of them go quick, some of them go slow, but just let it do its thing, and when it's done, it'll disappear, and then we'll move to the next one. Alright, so that finished. As you can see, it took a little bit of time. But once that's done, that's not the main important part. The main important part is this one right here. This MSP 432 EMT red boards. As you can see here, it has our 432 401R number. This is the one we need to work with our board. For the same instance, we're going to click install, and no matter what happens, we need to let this do its process. Feel free to fast forward through the video. Forgot to mention that on the first one. This one may take the same amount of time or longer. I've seen installs take 5 minutes on some computers, and then sometimes they take an hour. I'm not real sure why, but just let this finish out. Even if you think it's frozen, it's probably not. Just let it finish out what it needs to do. Clicking out of this or canceling it could break Energia, and you'd have to delete the whole thing and start over. That's the main problematic thing that I've found doing this. Students run into this all the time. I can't get it to upload to the board. I get some error, stuff like that. It might still work, but then when you try to upload something, it doesn't work. But then I've had students where the program itself won't even load anymore because of the broken installation package. So just let this sit here, run its course, do its thing. Don't let your computer go to sleep. Make sure you're paying attention. It may ask you for approval for certain drivers. Like I said, I've already done this, so it may not ask me twice. But we'll just take a break. Like I said again, feel free to fast forward to when this is finished. Okay, as you can see, that took quite a bit of time, but once it's done, you let that finish its way out, you should be good to go. And as you see here, it says installed now with the latest version. So we can close out of here, and now we can go to File. We'll go to Examples, Basics, Blank. This will be a lot like Lab 2. So here you'll see, we'll go ahead and close out of this one. This is a blank example, and we need to go ahead and get our board set up so we can use it. So we need to go to Tools, and as you see, it's still on board, but now we have this option, and it says Energia MSP 432 red boards, and we'll need to choose the red launch pad, this one right here. And then also you need to make sure you're connected to a COM. You should be able to choose the first one that's there. Mine's on COM 1. And then you can click verify if you want, but clicking upload verifies and then also uploads the code in one step. So I'm just going to go ahead and click upload because this code was written by Energia, so it should work already. And if you look over here on the board, we don't have any lights lit up. So, and this one I think does, yeah, it does the red LED. So we'll go ahead and upload that. And this will be your window letting you know what's going on. As you see down here, we're connected to the board that we need on COM 1. And it'll upload, and there we go, success, done uploading. And now you can see right here on the board we have our red light flashing for that LED. But that's pretty much it. Now anything that we do, as long as you choose the correct board and the correct COM, you should be able to write code and upload it to your robot. And that's pretty much it.